Hello and welcome, my name is Akira and this is my Let's Play series of Europa Universalis IV in the new expansion Mare Nostrum. And we are playing as the Ottoman Empire. And we will be trying to go for the... I think it's over 1000, let me check. I just forgot what his name was. It doesn't matter right now. Anyway, I'm going for a expansion where I have to control at least 1000 provinces. But before we get there, I'm gonna try to explain to you a bit more about how this game works that I'm used to in my videos. So it will be more of a tutorial type thing this time. Anyway, we haven't unpaused the game yet, so let's try to do that. What happens? Nothing really. But at least we got a diplomat back. And let's see, a bunch of other countries did a bunch of stuff. So we might want to think about getting some alliances as well. We are a pretty powerful country, but in the long run it's nice to have some alliances. And when you want to establish alliances, it's a good thing to think ahead. It used to be that you could just gain an alliance and they would immediately help you out in any kind of war you got into, but that changed in the last expansion to this game. Nowadays you have to build up favors with a empire, at least if you want them to help you out in any offensive wars. Of course they will help you out if you get attacked, but we are the Ottomans, we're not gonna get attacked, we are gonna attack people. So we want to make sure to choose allies that can help us out, but also aren't in the way of our expansion. So that gets us back to what is our plan. Well, as I said in the first video, I'm gonna try to show you how to do the Sultan of Rum achievement. Both because I want to show you how it's done. It's a pretty nice achievement that lets you get into a lot of different things in the game. And secondly because I myself will be going for the 1000 province achievement, and doing that is just a good part of it. So in order to do that we need to get up to Moscow, which is up here in Moscow, Russia, and we need to get to Rome. We need to control those two provinces as well as Constantinople. So we don't really want to be taking any allies that are in the way. One country that Ottomans usually ally when it's the AI control is Crimea. But as you can see, Crimea is pretty much in the way if I want to get up this way. I could get around, but I might as well take the Crimean land. Okay, what about the south? Well, the Mamluks are right here, and I happen to know that there's a lot of nice Ottoman missions to conquer the Mamluks, so I don't want to be allying them either. And as I said in my last video, we also want to be fighting the Timurids later. So what are left? Well, this land over here in the north of Africa are Berber lands, or Berber lands, I can't remember how it's proclaimed. And a feature of this is that you pay 50% more to core those provinces. So that puts them pretty low on my priority list of provinces to take. So why don't we ally some of these? And Tunis is the closest one, so let's try him out first. And he wants an alliance, that's so nice. He's not the biggest guy, but since we are so big, I'm not gonna be using it much. Another nice ally to pick up is either Poland or Lithuania. Here's a problem though, because these guys are Christian, so they don't really like us being Muslims, but a lot of the time you can at least convince Bohemia to get an alliance with you. So I'm gonna do that. Bohemia is really nice because he is a good bet to help you out against Poland, and also a good get to pay I can't speak today. A good bet to help you out against Austria later in the game, and we will be getting into problems with the Austrians. And how do I know that? Well, they have Wien. Maybe you know what I mean by that, maybe you don't. We'll be coming back to that later because that's way in the future. Anyway, now we have a couple of nice alliances. So, what is the next step? Well, let's look at the diplomatic map mode. Okay, what do we see here? Well, all the green area here is our land. The green stripes means that we have cores on this land. cause mean that we consider this land to be a part of our territory, and thus we can take it pretty easily. We can declare war on any country that has a colony ours, and we don't have to pay anything to take them. Also, we have these yellow stripes, and this is a claim. Remember, if you saw the last video, you would know that I got a claim on Constantinople as part of the mission that we are currently on to take the city of the world's desire. So, why don't we just go to war with Byzantium? It's one of our rivals also, so there's not really no reason not to. We even have a pretty nice leader here that we can use. So, let's declare some war. I can see that we need to wait a little bit longer before we can declare war. And a lot of alliances forming around us. And a royal marriage order for Tunis. I think we're gonna take that because I'm planning on having a long-time rival here. And royal marriages helps out with legitimacy. It improves a relation to Tunis. And it gives higher chance of having an heir. So, and there's really no the only negative side to a royal marriage is that you can't as easily go to war with a guy that you have a marriage with. But I don't think I'm going to war with these guys anytime soon. So just accept this. And then we have to wait. Oh, we are already beyond the day we can declare war. So let's just do this. They have one ally because they have a subject here in Athens, but it's only a one province minor, so we don't really care about that. Let's just do this. We can't call in any of our allies because we haven't built up any favors with them yet, and also they don't desire any of the provinces that Constantinople has. Stupid of them, but I guess. But we don't really need them anyway, so let's just do this. Okay, something new just popped up. Even if you are a veteran of the game, these red lines will be new to you. These red lines basically means that they are blockading my ports, and I don't want that. So let's send this fleet out. But we might as well check out the new features. So let's select a mission. Let's hunt for enemy fleets. I want to get all of their fleets sunk, and then choose the Aegean Sea, and let's see what happens. Then we're going to send our troops into Constantinople here to defeat this army, and we're going to send these troops down here to Athens to start defeating this army. And I should probably take the speed down a little bit so we can see what happens. We already got into a sea battle and won it and sunk two light ships of the Byzantium fleet. And over here we are fighting against them in Constantinople. This is the battle view. It shows a lot of things. I'll be doing a guide video pretty soon about this, and I already have one up that's a bit dated though, but I'll go through the basics here. Up here you see which terrain you're fighting in, along with the modifiers that implies. Here you see any modifiers that applies to your country, and here you see any modifiers that applies to the other country. This is the battlefield, or a representation of it. All the X's are infantry, and all the lines here are cavalry. The lines here represent what they can attack. And up here you have the random aspect of the fight, that is the dice roll. Also you can see that we have a -1 crossing penalty because we went over a river to get here. And you can see that this is the fire phase where we have a +2 bonus because we have 2 more bonuses than he does. So let's unpause and see what happens. As you can see, every day... oh, that battle was so quick. Every day we got a casualty number that popped up, and every 3 days is a new phase, either a siege phase or a fire phase, but we'll be talking about that when we get into another battle. We're also in a battle down here, so maybe we can see it down here. We're in the fire phase now, a couple days go by, and now we're in the shock phase, and now that battle is over as well, so that was fast. Up here we want to now siege down this province. In order to do though, we need a bunch of soldiers in this area. We need at least 9,000 soldiers to do it. We currently have 10,497, so we can at least take some of the soldiers out. Why would I take these soldiers away? Well, while we are sieging down a province, we take attrition. So it's impossible to take down a fortress without at least some guys dying, either from lack of food or disease or anything like that. So you want to leave as few guys in a siege as possible in order to minimize the amounts you're gonna lose. Down here we're gonna do the same. We're gonna look at the... Oh, it hasn't updated yet. Sometimes it needs a day to update for the siege to start after a battle is over. Here we need to lead only 3. And since we don't have a leader in charge of here and don't have to worry about that, we can just press the D button, which will leave a siege behind. And we can then move down to this fortress down here. If you are a veteran player that had played back in the original version, the vanilla version of the game, you will notice that nowadays there's only fortresses in some provinces, and you need to siege down any provinces that are near any land that you want to take. And I kind of want to take it all, so I need to siege down this, and this fortress. You can also choose to siege down this land. What you will get out of this is any income from that land, and you will prevent them from doing training any units here. So it can be a really good idea. So let's just send him down here to make sure that that happens. And let's also pause and go back to speed 3 and do that. While we are doing this, we might as well be using our diplomats. We have a rivalry with Genoa, so we want to take provinces from them later. And in order to do so, we need claims. In order to do that, since the last expansion, Mare Nostrum, we need to build up a spy network. Fabricating a claim means that we need to use at least 10 spy network size. So we need to build up for a while. As you can see here, we build up 1.47 each month. This is based off of our spy strength, their spy defense, and the fact that we are rivals. Also, we can see something that's really interesting here. While our agent is active and the spy network is larger than 25, there's a 2.09% risk of discovery each month. If we discover it, it will damage relations with the target country, reduce the size of our network, and prevent us from further growing it for a while. So, if you're used to playing this game, you would remember that it used to be that when you tried to do claims, there would be a similar chance each month of getting caught, but that would cost aggressive expansion. That has now been removed. And, as you can see, since the limit here is 25, you can even gain claims without risking being caught. So this is a really big improvement to the ease of getting claims. Might as well send a spy to Venice as well, since we need to claim a bunch of stuff there as well. And then I'm gonna send one to Valencia as well. Might as well. Okay, let's unpause again. So we actually need 6 down here, and I'm gonna leave 7, and that's because there is the chance when you do a siege that you will have a siege outbreak. And a siege outbreak, or not a siege outbreak, a disease outbreak means that you will be losing some troops. So if you have exactly 6,000 men and you lose some of those troops, then you don't have 6,000 men anymore and you can't do the siege. So it's better to leave some extra. Okay. And now we're going in to kill this fleet. That is actually pretty nice. I don't have to worry about this fleet. It just goes and do that stuff for itself. Anyway, let's change the mission, because now, in order to help our sieges, I need to blockade some ports. So let's do that. Let's set it to blockade enemy ports, also in the this region. And it will now try to blockade all the ports that I am in war with. Why would I want to blockade ports? Well, if you're trying to take a fortress that can be getting food from the seaways, of course it will take longer before they surrender. So, in order to prevent this, we can blockade the port, and this modifier of a -2 will go away. So let's see how and lots of other trade leaks. I'll be talking about this later. This trade leaks is also a part of this expansion. What is happening? Trade leagues are a form of defensive alliance that merchant republics can do, but they are not really relevant right now. So why are they doing this? Are they actually blockading it? No. I want to be blockading, so I'm just gonna take manual control. I'm not sure why they're doing this. Maybe they just want to repair. Okay, let's see. So we need some more ships up here to blockade Constantinople. And why are these not doing the protect trade in Alexandria? So now we have. Let's just get the fleet assembled. And Hungary are trying to make claims on us, so maybe they have big thoughts of themselves. Anyway, once we're here, we can also just manually declare the blockade, and it's the same as with a siege. Press D, and it will manually detach, and we can move the rest of the guys here and try and see if we can blockade these ports as well. This guy sieges down this area, so we are now in control of this province. If we stay in the province, we can further loot it down, taking all of the money in the province, but hurting its production. But we don't really want to be doing this since we're gonna keep this province, so let's just move him out. But having control over this province means that we are now gaining any tax from it, and they can't train any troops, so that's nice. Look at Albania. I just want to make sure that Albania don't get any allies, because he's the next target. Another thing we can talk about that's been changed in this expansion is states. So let's see if we can find a... Oh, we just got a heir to the throne. Very nice. Mehmet is a 134, so he isn't as good as our current ruler, but hey, you can't get gold every time. And Hungary also got a new ruler. States and territories. Okay. States and territories is something new added to the game in the current expansion, Mare Nostrum. See here we have a... this isn't really a good... Maybe this map mode will be better once we have more. But we can use the area map mode. So, states are made according to these areas. So, if you have more than one province in each area, then they are still part of the same state. And there's a limit to how many states you can control. And where do we see that? I'm actually not sure. Here. As you can see here, we have right now a limit of 15 states. We have a base value of 5. We have +5 for despotic monarchy and +5 for government rank. We don't have 15 states yet, we only have 10. We have Thrace, Hundvendiga, Bulgaria, Aegean, Rum, Macedonia, Northern Greece, Karaman, Eastern Aegean, and Kastamonu. And each of those states cost some money to maintain. I guess we can see that somewhere here. State maintenance, 2 ducats a month. And what do we get out of states, you might ask? Well, in our states we have a floor of 0 autonomy. In any land that are not states, there is a roof or a floor of, I think it's 25 autonomy. That's also interesting because there's another thing that I haven't talked about yet, namely estates. Estates are the different parts of your people. We have in our country 4 estates. We have the base, the nobility, the jimmy, which are any heathens in our country, merchant guilds, which are the, well, merchant class, and the ulema, which are the clergy of our country. Each of the estates can give different bonuses to you. Base give manpower, and if you get them really loyal, they also give land maintenance modifier. The jimmy give tolerance of heathens, as well as technology cost if you make them happy. The merchant guild give you trade efficiency and development cost modifier, and the ulema give you tax modifier and stability cost modifier. They can also give penalties if they are not happy. They have loyalty, as you can see, and right now everyone is at 50 loyalty. When they first introduced the states, it used to be so that loyalty would be permanent, but they have changed it now so that loyalty will always tend towards 50%. So if you increase their loyalty, it will tend or decrease until it gets to 50, and if you decrease their loyalty, it will increase until it gets to 50. You can also see that down in this text. They also have an influence, and the influence is a measure of how much influence they have in a country. Kind of makes sense. The influence decides the size of this bonus, so if you increase the influence, then you can also increase the size of this bonus. Finally, they have a land, so the base currently controls 50% of our land, and they expect to control at least 10. The Jimmy control 13%, but expect 0. The Merchant Guild expect 0 and control 9.8, and the Ulema expect 10% and control 11.6. We can see the different states on a map mode that I'll try to see if I can find. I think it's in here. There it is, estates. The red ones are the base, the yellow ones are the Ulema, the blue ones are the Merchant Guild, and these grey ones are the Jimmy. So why wouldn't you just give all of your land away to the estates? Well, the estates kind of does the same. They also put a floor of autonomy on 25%. Autonomy is a modifier that gives less of the money and production in the state to you and more of it to the population. And in this case, the estate. The only thing is that the estates also give certain bonuses, and they don't penalize in the same area as they give bonuses. So the base give extra manpower, as we already saw, so they don't penalize manpower. So even if it says 25% autonomy here, it doesn't affect your manpower. The same thing with if I can find them here, Ulema. They give tax, so they don't penalize tax, and the Merchant Guild give trade power, so they don't penalize trade power. And the Jimmy is similar to the Ulema, so they also don't modify tax, and you can see that down here in that tooltip that they remove local autonomy for a local tax modifier, they increase tax modifier, and they decrease missionary strength. Merchant Guilds, they remove local autonomy for local production, trade, force limits, sailors, and trade power. So, let's get the time started again and get this war over with. Sailors is also something that was added in this expansion, and sailors are like manpower but for your ships. So this basically means that if we get into sea battles, we'll have to replace sailors on our ships, meaning that we'll lose sailors, and we need these sailors if we want to hire new ships as well. Okay, this is an event. Events happens every once in a while, and they are both basic events, and there are events that are based off of your ideas, your culture, and your country, your religion, and so on and so forth. This one has to do with the base, so it has to do with our estates. Declining power of the base. As both influential landowners and the traditional warrior class in our state, the base have not fared well lately. Through a combination of excessive infighting and poorly coordinated power plays, the base have lost influence, alien, and many have retired to their properties in the countryside, so they lose 10 influence. So that means that we lose some of the bonus that the base have. What can we do to get that back? Well, a bunch of stuff, but let's get to that later on. Let's finish this war first. Let's since we don't really have any armies that we'll be fighting anymore, let's just go up to speed 4 and get this over with. And I'll be drinking some coffee. And you can see we are progressing all the different sieges. Sieges progress in phases of, in this case, 30 days, and every 30 days there's a chance that you will gain progress. The maximum progress you can get is a 12 modifier. That means that we now got to a total modifier of 32% chance of winning the siege. We just won it, and that meant that we forced their fleet out of their province. So we are now fighting them. That's why I'm calling these guys up. At the same time, we now freed up our ruler to go help. So let's put him in charge of this army instead and send him down to help with this siege down here. Oh, or maybe this one, because this also just finished. And let's send this fleet down here again so they can blockade this port. And also engage this fleet. Sunk that whole fleet. Very nice. Good harvest. 1446 was considered a particularly good year for the Ottomans due to good harvest generating higher incomes than ever before. Should we put it into the treasury or should we invest the money? Let's invest it and get some administrative points. In general, administrative points or monarch points in general are worth much more than money. Exception, of course, being if you really need the money. So let's just get some administrative points because we have plenty of money right now. And we now have a 56% chance of ending this siege, and there it ended. So we now have 100% war score, meaning that we can try to end the war. We are fighting a pretty big fleet here. I think I'm just gonna end the war now. Oh, we need a guy back. Let's just take him back from Venice. A diplomat to do the peace talks. So, we definitely want Constantinople. We kind of actually want everything. It means that we're gonna annex both countries. So, what does this all mean? Well, as you can see here, these are the same provinces that I clicked up here. And they each cost a amount of war score based on how much tax and so forth they give, a value called the development of the province. Then we had a claim on Constantinople presented by this little icon here, meaning that Constantinople we can gain for free. The two other Byzantium provinces we have to pay 15 diplomatic power for, and the 15 diplomatic power is based off of us taking it from a rival, and because we are because of our government form and rank, we have to pay a little bit more for taking it from Athens because they aren't our rival, but we still have the bonus from our rank though. Then we gain 2 prestige for each of these provinces and 5 Constantinople, for a total of 13 prestige and 59 diplomatic points. We also gain 34.3 aggressive expansion. We get aggressive expansion with 223 different countries, and this is further modified by the distance, by religion, regions, and so forth. We'll get into this later. Suffices to say that the only country that can get into a coalition based on this war is Byzantium, which will now cease to exist. We can also see that we'll have to accrue a 52% overextension. Overextension has to do with how well you can rule your country, and if you have a lot of provinces in your country that aren't cause, it gets harder to rule. So we don't want our overextension to get above 100%, but this is only 52, so this is fine. Finally, you can see that we will have to spend 355 admin point to make this into cause. This is a bit more than we have, but I have a trick up my sleeve. Since we have more peace offer to do, we might as well take their money as well. If you hold down shift while you press the plus, you will go to the maximum amount of money. We are gonna take 83 ducats from them. It will gain us some inflation, but it's usually worth it unless you are a really small country. Or it's a really small amount of money. We can't choose any of these options because we are fully annexing them. Otherwise we could have done a lot of interesting things. But let's talk about them when they are relevant. Let's send this demand. And they accepted. So We now took all of that land over, and this sea battle ended because, well, we aren't in war anymore. So let's send our fleet back to Constantinople to repair. We got a new national decision, and this is the last thing I'm showing in this video because it's already gone quite long. But this was the decision, my trick up the sleeve that I was talking about. Make Constantinople capital. The glorious city that we have recently conquered will make a splendid capital for our nation. Constantinople is the greatest city on earth, and our government will make it so much stronger. So, if we choose this, we gain a stability. Constantinople becomes our capital for free. Ottomans get a free core on it. The culture will change to Turkish. The religion will change to Sunni. And we gain, all in all, 11 development. And we become an empire. This is probably the best decision in the whole game. And we get it just for conquering it. Let's do it right away before the game changes its mind. We are now an empire of the Levantine culture. And it also meant that we don't only have to call these 3 provinces. That is done, so I'll end this video here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider hitting the like button and subscribing. Hope to see you in the next video, and until then, have a good day.